Classic WoW is finally here.
My God! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
And choosing a class to play is a massive decision to make. Unlike in retail where you can level from 1 to 120 in a few days, or just straight up buy a boost, leveling a character in Classic is a huge commitment. For most players, if playing casually, it can take months to get to level 60, and the last thing that you want to do is spend all that time leveling a character and you end up not liking it, forcing you to reroll and do it all over again. So hopefully this video will make that decision a tad bit easier for you. So here are my 5 reasons why you should play the rejuvenating, shape-shifting, moonfiring Druid. Number 5. A hybrid class. Just like the Paladin and Shaman, the Druid is a hybrid class, a class that can play multiple different roles. Paladins can heal, melee DPS and tank, and Shamans can heal and do both melee and ranged DPS, but what makes a Druid really unique is the skill set to do all 4 roles. A Druid can go into bear form to tank, cat form to do melee DPS, outer form to heal, and then moonkin form to do ranged DPS. However, there is a bit of a drawback with being able to do everything at once, because the Druid is considered a jack of all trades, master of none. Although they can fill every role, it won't necessarily be as good as a class it's almost emulating. Like, despite being viable, bear tanking won't be as good as a warrior in most situations, and even though cats can pull off some really respectable DPS with the right gear, cat DPS won't be as effective as a rogue. Restoration spec won't compete with priests, and unfortunately, moonkins will never ever rival a mage. Despite all of this, the different playstyles, skills and roles at a Druid's disposal makes it a really hard class to get bored of, and is the perfect choice for anyone wanting to do everything at once. Number 4. Stealth. I cannot stress how underrated stealth is. In Classic, the world is dangerous. One wrong move and you'll find yourself having to do the long walk of shame from the graveyard to your corpse. And as a class that can stealth, you have the option to choose your fights. Do you engage in combat or do you just sneak past? For example, you see a group of the opposite faction, but you're on your own. If they see you, you're dead. But you can just go into stealth and escape, or just wait for them to leave so that you won't be corpse camped for hours on end. Or say you have a quest to collect an item or kill a particular mob, but there are tons of mobs in the way. You can just stealth past them all to quickly get to your objective. The same with gathering nodes. For example, you see a herb you need to pick, but don't want to waste time killing all the mobs in between you and it. Just stealth past, get your herb and stealth out. Stealth is an incredibly useful tool to have in your arsenal for countless situations that you will encounter in Classic. Number 3. Fast levelers. Leveling in Classic is a long journey. Back in the day, it wasn't uncommon for it to take some people 6 months or more to hit 60. However, some classes are faster than others to level, and due to its wide and varied toolkit, the Druid is one of the fastest. First off, mana regenerates when in form, so a Druid, instead of having to constantly eat and drink, can quickly use their healing spells to heal themselves between pulls, allowing them to potentially more or less keep going forever with no downtime. Secondly, Druids get insane movement speed increases very early into the game. They can put 2 points into feline swiftness by level 22, increasing the movement speed in cat form by 30%, and then at level 30, they get travel form, a 40% movement speed increase. To put that into perspective, every other class unlocks their 60% mount at level 40, and even then, most people won't actually even be able to afford their mount straight away just because of how expensive it is. And if all of that wasn't enough, they can pull mobs at range with spells like Moonfire and Wrath and then go cat form when mobs get close, and then if they pull too many mobs, they can heal themselves, apply heal over time spells, and then go into bear form to take them all on with no problem. The Druid is not only an insanely fast leveling class, but in my opinion, it's also really fun and engaging just due to having to constantly manage the different forms and abilities. Number 2. The best flag carriers. Druids are a great choice for PvP. If played well, they're a really good dueling class, but where the Druid really excels is as a flag carrier. Druids are easily the best flag carriers in the game because, well, they're slippery little bastards. They can shift out of slows and roots, they can't be polymorphed, and with the travel form and feline swiftness, they have massively increased movement speeds, allowing them to easily outrun anyone. If on the off chance someone does actually manage to catch up to them, they can instant root with Nature's Grasp, or hop into bear form to increase their armor and health pools to tank damage, or just use their heals to keep themselves topped. Unfortunately, the Druid doesn't really receive much glory. They're kind of the unsung heroes of Battlegrounds. They won't be topping damage meters or killing blows or anything, but any PvPer, especially pre-mates, will pray for a good Druid flag carrier to ensure their team victory. Number 1. Utility. One thing that Druids are known for is just how much they bring to groups and raids. Their Mark and Gift of the World buff increases everyone's armor, all of their stats by 12, and all of their resistances by 20, which is pretty big. Then they have Rebirth, the only battle res in the game, which can be the difference between downing a boss and a full raid wipe. If that wasn't enough, Feral Druid's Leader of the Pack buff gives everyone in its party 3% crit, Moonkins give everyone in its party 3% spell crit, and then all of the specs can buff a player with Thorns, mainly the tank to help them keep fret easier, as it causes nature damage to attackers. And then Innovate. Innovate is every healer's wet dream. In Classic, mana is a resource that every spellcaster has to manage efficiently, as it's very easy to go very quickly. This is where the Druid steps in. The healer has had to spend its mana, the Druid gives the healer Innovate and boom. The healer's mana regeneration is increased by 400% and 100% can regen whilst casting. I cannot stress how big of a buff this is. A Druid's hybrid nature also plays a huge part in groups and raids too, and this utility is really what drew me to the Druid back in vanilla. For example, if the tank dies, the Druid can swap into bear form to tank. If the healers are struggling, the Druid can help out by throwing out their heals, or if the raid just needs a little bit extra damage to kill the boss, the Druid can shift into cat form and start DPSing. A good Druid who knows how to use their utility is a vital member of any group. So that's it for my top 5 reasons to play a Druid in Classic WoW. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section what class you plan on playing in Classic and why. Also, I plan on streaming the entire 1 to 60 leveling process from the second Classic releases over on twitch.tv/BananaRaccoonTV. So make sure you follow me over there if you want to see that. Anyway, I have been BananaRaccoon and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.